Welcome to a review of Resident Evil Village. I am not reviewing this game playing through the game once. This is my second playthrough gameplay thing for this review. I've played through it on easy and I've kind of used infinite weapons, ammo stuff, just to get through the game a little bit faster to get this review out. So this review is not going to be like a step-by-step thing of everything that happens in the game. Like you go here, you do this, you open up this box, open up that box, it's none of that. It's going to be, my opinions from the start of the game, my opinions of all the bosses, then my thoughts on some stuff that happens during the game, and my thoughts on the ending. So please make sure to give this a like, because this is taking me hours to make. I've literally had to play through a game again, and I've had to do a lot of editing, magic stuff, because the editing software on PS5 doesn't let you do stuff over an hour long, over like 60 minutes. I've had to edit and render stuff and wait so long. So if you do like this review, please make sure to give it a like. And if you are new, feel free to subscribe. With that being said, guys, let's get into the review of the start of the game. So at the start of the game, we are greeted with the Village of Shadows book reading cutscene. So I think this intro, I personally think, is actually one of the best Resident Evil intros there are. I've played quite a few of the Resident Evil games right now. I've been playing through them quite a lot of the week, and I've got this one. I think it's better than number 7's intro, it's better than number 2's intro, it's better than, I think it's a really good intro, and this intro lines up the game perfectly, because the parallels between the actual story of the game and the book story are uncanny. It walks you the boss in order, so that's the first boss, then the second creature, like the Weaver, is the second boss, Fish King is like the third boss, so on and so forth. So as you meet the creatures in order, is the actual bosses. Even like the big Witcher says, it's the bosses. I quite like it. It suits up the game perfectly. Like, it's basically a walkthrough of the game, but it's not. It tells you who you're gonna meet. So that Weaver, you meet the Weaver, but you don't meet the Weaver. It's quite interesting. This intro sums up the game perfectly. Like, it honestly does, because it just walks through the game. It tells you it tells you who you're gonna meet and what you're gonna do, pretty much. It's just a really good start of a Resident Evil game. So the book, I'm really happy about this, because to be fair, it's a change of pace from a Resident Evil game. Because from a Resident Evil game, it's usually like all the zombie outbreak, like Raccoon City, like Resident Evil 2 remake. You start at like the petrol station or the I don't know, gas station, what I'm gonna call it. And Resident Evil 3 remake, you start in Jill's apartment and stuff like that. And Resident Evil 0, you start at a abandoned train area. So it's really good art, because it literally shows you in the village in the background. So it just shows you everything that you need to know in the whole game in this one cutscene. And to be fair, that isn't even at the start of the game. So this is like the start of the game. Then we actually get to the good part. So after RE7, we rescue your wife Mia. Now we finally see her holding your baby Rose. So Ethan has a kid with Mia. And as we all thought, obviously the events of Resident Evil 7 must have some effects. So so the players who's played RE7 noticed that Mia has been acting more, I don't know, more like snappy and more like, because Mia was a kind of like a kind, sensitive person, and in this she bites Ethan hands off, and he really kicks off, if you know what that means, to start an argument, see, my memory's fine. She snaps, something like a lot, but she snaps, sort of thing. And she doesn't usually snap in RE7. And I know that sorry, we won't get into the mold, but in the event of RE7, the mold, she's infected with the mold. A mold can change people, so the player's wondering, is it the mold, infected her still? Or, is she just changed a lot, and obviously the traumatic events that she went through. So, with that being said, that's the start. So, got a recap as well. When you start the game for the first time, and you can do this in the bonus movie things, you do get a recap of RE7. So this is the start of the thing. So you notice, Mia's been out a bit different. You can look around the house. I didn't in the gameplay, but you can look at the red bottle of wine. There is a red bottle of wine near the table, and it's called the Red Queen, or something in Romanian. pretty much, and that's a reference to the Red Queen, and that could be the Easter egg from the Resident Evil 1 movie, because I think like the evil AI is called the Red Queen. So a little fun fact for you. And there's a lot of like cool little Easter eggs from previous Resident Evil games in the house. So it's honestly worth taking a look at. I obviously didn't, because as I said, I've already looked around it, I know what's what. But if you guys get this game, I'm going to leave exploring to the house up to you guys. After putting your daughter to bed, Rose, you come back down into the house and have dinner with Mia. Now, everything's okay. And she sort of snaps a bit more here, like, hands off, mister. Like, I didn't notice that she snapped a bit. Obviously, that could be like normal husband or wife thing snapping. But obviously, you look at Mia's personality from RE7, from RE8, and it changed a lot. And this is one of the times you've actually picked up. Then, in this conversation here, near the end, she snaps, like, again. Like, it's like not like Mirror 2, because in like if you play with RE7, which I'm trying to say is a personality so much different, and obviously it could be like the effects and the experiences or the infection that was in RE7 changing her, or like becoming like a meaner person, stuff like that, or like something could actually be wrong. I know the answer, I'm not going to say it to the end, but yeah, pretty much like that. So as you can see here, then things go for the worst. She gets shot in the shoulder, then it gets weird, because she's infected by the mold, and yeah, she literally takes so much shots, she just gets gunned down like nothing, and she still lives. Now, with the mold, you get regeneration abilities, and she gets infected with the mold at RE7, and this is her regeneration abilities kicking in, so she gets absolutely gunned down on that, absolutely gunned down, and she's still, she's still barely living that day, because you'll see in a minute, because good old Chris Redfield from all the Resident Evil games comes and says like, hey, what's up? I'm back, I've just killed your wife after you've done all that trouble rescuing her. And then like, Mia gets up and he puts 5 bullets in her head. Can I get a big with my one boy Ethan's hand? Like, Resident Evil 7 get cut off the chain so I have to go back on, no, at least it's hard. So after a big car crash and you stumble upon like this village, then like the game takes a page out of Resident Evil 4's book when you're in the village, then all of a sudden you just get attacked by swarms of enemies, and I mean swarms, and the game the game basically shows you you're in for an absolute shit time. This is it. You might be gone ski here, but if you survive, you're just gonna make your time in the village absolutely hell, and I mean hell. This attack event is timed, so you don't have to waste any bullets, but there's challenges you can do where you kill certain enemies or kill a certain big boy at the end instead of late game. But yeah, you can either get unscathed at all, just hang out, don't waste no bullets and healing items, or you can mince all your ammo and try and kill as many as you can, use all your healing items. So you can play this thing as you want. So you can do it as use all the healables you want, use all your ammo up, or you can be conservative and use some and only kill the Lycans that you have to. With me, both times I've only killed the Lycans I have to, which are these big werewolf creatures, and I may use the explosive barrel. This is a perfectly good setup of what's to come in the village. It basically gives you good support in the game, what's gonna throw down. Obviously, you're not gonna get swarmed. But it's a perfect setup for the game, really, and honestly, they said when they made this game there's inspiration from number 4, and I see lots of Resident Evil 4 in this game. I've not physically played 4, but I know what happens, I've seen what happens, I've watched it a lot, so I can really give the sense that it's really took a good, it ain't copying, it's more like a good page out of their book, which is a really good thing, because Resident Evil 4 revolutionized gaming with the over shoulder shooting and that. But yeah, as you can see, you can craft bullets in this, which I quite like. You can buy the crafting recipes for shotgun bullets, sniper bullets, and all the bullets in that you can make, and all the landmine pipe bombs you can buy, because in Resident Evil 7 you couldn't craft bullets or ammo, and the enemies didn't drop any money or craftables in RE7, so I just want to quickly point out here, how you can craft your ammos and that and pick up monies and things off of your dead enemies. So after a little bit you get attacked by the Lion Kings and you do a puzzle, and you sort of get kidnapped for a little bit and you survive this, you stumble across the castle of Demetrius and an unexpected ally.
Hey, can you hear me?
First off, I would like to quickly mention the village exploration is pretty cool in this game. You just gotta explore it for yourself. You'll really understand it by that. And I also want to quickly mention how quickly this scene goes. It goes from 0 to 100 like real quick. Next minute, someone's getting stabbed with a machete. The house on fire. Someone's just been scratched to death. Someone's got their throat bit out. It really goes to the 0 to 100 real quick. No joke, just watch it out, like, right here. He turns, he's been slashed, he's been infected, they're like, in that house on fire, the drunk's trying to put it out, then he goes, and my machete hold that from, then he bottles it, then he, like, pushes her to the ground, then he, like, climbs on the roof, like, Spider-Man, like, type stuff, then, like, he, like, kills the cripple, kills the drunk, then, like, gets the old wailing woman and bites her throat out, and goes, like, 2 to 100 real quick, and honestly, there's, like, it's like, damn, sort of thing. Now that you've been kidnapped and saved yourself, you come across your unexpected ally and merchant, the Duke. He's like the merchant from RE4. You sell him stuff, you buy stuff off him, you sell him stuff. You could even hunt for, like, fish, like poultry, meats and that, and even cook your meals. And he sort of is the ally because, like, you're his customer, but he does help you out during the game, especially in the end game. And the Duke is actually kind of cool character because he's like, yo, he might be big and fat, but he's actually got mysterious to him. He's got some, like, power to him by himself, but all he does is help you out, really. I mean, like, Ethan's a bit like, ooh, you better not be shitting me sometimes, or, Ethan's like, I think at early game, Ethan's a bit too, like, whoa, calm down there, Ethan, he's trying to help you out here. But with that being said, you enter the castle of Dimitrescu, and after a little bit, you get a visit by the daughters. Now, this is your proper first encounter with 3 daughters and Lady Dimitrescu. And yes, you've bumped into Lady Dimitrescu before, but this is like your proper first one-on-one encounter. Where basically, right, this is the castle, you've got to escape the castle. You've got to get 4 masks, and there's 4 vampire, big, milky women in your way to stop you. And you either got to run past them, or you got to kill them. And you choose to kill them, because it's into something. And it's quite a good in your first count, really, because it just goes to show that, like, these enemies are no joke. And I quite like, I know this is silly, or quite stupid, the castle portion of the game is my favourite part of the game. Not because of obviously the big round milky joke, it's because of, like, it feels like classic Resident Evil. You're being stalked around, after a little bit you get stalked around like Lady Dimitrescu, like Nemesis stalks you, or Mr. X stalks you, or Tyrant, or whatever you want to call him, stalks you. And you're running around like a castle, or like a mansion, just as in Resident Evil 1. Like proper like classic Resident Evil stuff, and like, it just like feels so Resident Evil-y, like, if you know, like the old like Resident Evil, it just feels old Resident Evil. Being chased around by a big ass monster and doing puzzles around a mansion, collecting 4 items to escape. It just feels Resident Evil-y. It honestly does. This is such a good part of the game. Obviously the other parts of the game are cool, don't get me wrong, but this part of the game is my favourite part of the game at all, because you just get a nice introduction to Lady Dimitrescu, the first boss, by the way. The way they advertised the game made it seem like the last boss, like these are the enemies of the game. But can we just get a big grip for my boy Ethan Hands? He like gets it like cut off with a chainsaw, half bit off by a lichen, gets it caught on like a barbed wire fence a little bit, and now instead of sliding off his hands, he's gonna pull them off. Look, he's looking like sliding him off the foot. So he just like yanks him out. Oh man, he's brutal, honestly. Ethan's hands just gets attacked after attack after attack. Mate, that vampire, he's like stepping by like, oh, I want you, Ethan, my boy. But yeah, pretty much. Look at the hands. Just look at the hands. Like, looks up, pulls out his hands, pulls out his hands, and he goes over to the first aid thing. First, aids all up, look, and it all is better because it's Resident Evil magic type shit. But like, look. Instead of like sliding it off the thing, like, see, you could have yanked off like the bandage hand, but look, he just yanks it off and it hurts. What you could have done, was you yanked off the one with the bandage on, and you used the one with the bandage on to slide off the one with the non-bandaging on. But yeah, that's the first introduction, and poor Ethan's hands with the witches. So after a little bit of wandering around the mansion, picking up one of the masks you need and killing one of the daughters, Lady Dimitrescu gets a bit pissed at you and decides to cut off your hand. Like, he goes, "Ting, I cut your hand clean off." And like, I even goes like, "Oh my god, my hand's been cut off," and ah shit, my hand, fool. And it's like, I was slicing the ribbons, and then you got to run around, pick up your hand, slide up the gate door, and like, you find one of the two masks. So this is when like Lady Dimitri starts hunting you. Like, you gotta loop around. You can't go in front of her because like she'll just go like straight for you. So now you gotta jeep and drive around that room. You gotta go pick up your hand, slide up the thing. Then like you go ahead, pick up the mask, and like it's an elevator up back up to the courtyard. And from the courtyard, you can go to a safe room with the Duke in it because he makes it in the castle. And yeah, I got a slice there again. Or you can either go get the next masterpiece like I did, because obviously I know what I'm doing. I don't need to save every 5 minutes now. So yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, so then you encounter the second daughter. Sorry, I lost the gameplay with the first daughter. My deepest apologies there. But yeah, you come across the gameplay with the second daughter. You come across the second daughter in the armory. You gotta like move the bookcase which you saw in the gameplay and blow up the door with the a pipe bomb, which I thought was pretty cool. Then it brings the cold air in, so we had to kill the second daughter. And after that, you can grab the antenna thing on the wall and you can escape the room. So now officially you got like halfway done. Like you've only got like one daughter left, and Lady Dimitrescu left. So after that, you get the third daughters. You got to kill them with cold air. So now that you understand how you kill got the daughters, it's different. With the first daughter, you break a window that's open in the cutscene. Second one, like you like pretty much blow from that door. Then like the third one is there's like this hatch in this like room which blows down the cold open. Then like you gotta do damage to it while it's cold. It closes up. You gotta open it again. It shuts up. Open it again. You get a mask. Dun 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 dun. Lady Dimitrescu boss fight time. Let's get into it. So when you finally unlock that door that requires all 4 masks, you open up this coffin with this blade that's got some special poison made into the blade that can actually harm Lady Dimitrescu. And so Lady Dimitrescu goes, "Here, I'll have that back," and you go, "Oh hell nah," you know, sort of thing. Then you know, she stabs you with her like wrong claw thing, so you stab her with the knife. Then she turns into a big Resident Evil ass monster type thing. And this boss fight, mechanical wise, works perfect. He literally give you a sniper beforehand for this boss fight. And even then, non-mechanical wise, it's a pretty fun boss fight, because all you gotta do is like, yes, you can damage her whole body sort of thing, like you can sort of like, this is boss fight opening in there, so you can, she's actually certainly like a full-on beast type thing, like dragon type thing, and she like flies about and walks about. So the first half of the boss fight, I should say, she like walks about, gonna eat you and that. The actual boss fight speeds up like 4 times as fast, so it goes a bit quicker. But yeah, so you can do damage to her by shooting the big dragon part, but it doesn't do as much. But if you want like a critical damage, if you just shoot like her human body type Escrom, like the long ass tentacle things, it does like a critical damage. And you literally get a sniper rifle, so it does like a lot of damage, and you got a shotgun, you got a pistol, so you can do like a lot of crit. I chuck some pipe bombs at her. But yeah, during the boss fight, she just fly about and you can sniper during the air, and yeah, if you can get a quick shot, it does more damage. It's a pretty fun boss fight, and after all that, you're doing this really, you know, it ain't tough, it's quite fun. It's Resident Evil boss fight, that's for sure, like, shoot the weak point, you're doing more damage sort of thing, so just sniping in the air, if you can hit your shots, you get the crit off. Then, like, when she goes into phase 2, she breaks down that tower bit and gotta run up the tower, and it gets really close quarters. It gets really dangerous type. So then, like, you lay into her, you sniper and shotgun and pistol, and you just do an absolute damage, because like a badass, and all he does is do, like, damage. Absolute damage to sniper, and then obviously she breaks down the thing, you run upstairs for doing damage to her while running up. But then she starts flying again, so you kinda got the sniper through these little cracks. But then she busts through, you do a bit more damage to her, and then you like boss fight over. So at the end of the boss fight, you come across, you know, you come down at the bottom of the tower, you get this cutscene, and it's like, "Come to your despair, damn witness," and like, classic boss fight stuff. "Oh, I can't die like this, not like this, oh god no." and you fly down there. You fly down there, and then at the end of the hallway, you find a flask, and that flask is very important for the rest of the story. So it's a pretty cool area. The castle is probably like my favourite area. It's not my favourite boss fight. You know which one my favourite boss fight is. But yeah, it's not my favourite boss fight. But yeah, it's a pretty cool area of the game. So that said, we've just killed the first boss. 20 minutes in, the review's kind of long. Cool. I'll wrap up the other bosses quick. There are other bosses. Yeah, this is my favourite area, so I've said more. So let's get into the other stuff. Here's the flask I was on about. You know, it's very collectible. You know what you need for the finish game. When you walk down from the castle, you make your way back to the Duke, and he gives you a disturbing truth about that flask. I'll let that play out now.
Is that so? I assume you've picked up something of value.
Not sure if it's of value, but...
Why, you have your daughter right in your own hands.
What are you saying?
Take a closer look. That flask seems to contain her head.
No. What?
Roses...
Don't say another word! This is impossible! This just can't be!
Your daughter's essence is still intact. Her powers are truly unique.
Who could even do this?
She can be saved, you know.
Saved? From this? Are you insane?
There's a house with a red chimney on the western side of the village. Go and seek out the man who lives there. Then we can continue our conversation.
Once the player is done exploring the village and the red chimney house, he goes back to the Duke, and the Duke tells you what you need to do and how to do it.
I found these feathers. Now tell me how to fix this like you said you would.
Settle down. First, you must use that key and collect all of your little roses flasks.
Where are the rest of them?
There are 4 in total. You have the one, and the other lords have the rest.
Lords?
Mother Miranda is the cold, calculating ruler of this village. 4 lords serve under her. The first you've already met, the Lady Dimitrescu. The second lives deep in a valley of mist, the doll-maker, Donna Beneviento. None of her playmates have ever come back from that dank old estate. The third is Moreau, a being of twisted flesh that lives in the reservoir past the windmills. It is said that he is not the only monster that lives in those waters. The fourth and most dangerous is Heisenberg. He works in his factory on the village outskirts. And the project. Let's just say parts of the human imagination are better left alone.
So that all being said, it's time to make a visit to Donna Beneviento, but this place is not good, because all you get is illusions, and the scariest part in Resident Evil Village, maybe even the whole franchise, is this place, aka Michael Jackson's house. So you go into his basement, you get tricked of you losing all your weapons. Then it goes all dark, so then you basically turn into the game basically turns into Outlast, or PT, or both. Now this is where it gets really scary, because you gotta solve puzzles, you know, hear a lot of creepy noises.
What?
And then boom, bada bing.
Where's my gun?
It all goes crazy, it all gets scarier. You get phone calls, radios, and Mia. It's all babies kicking, the baby basically tears it inside out, then boom, bada bing, it plays on Ethan's fears, it's all illusions, Ethan's got fears of the baby turning into Monsters Rose. Then boom, bada bing, you see this huge creepy baby monster, and it's gonna come at you. So you gotta like avoid it and hide in corners and like droop it and that. And the baby, then once you've done all like the challenges, you finally get the fuse back in the fuse box. You get the elevator, and you say the baby a goodbye, and baby like screams out for you. And then it's time to kill Michael Jackson himself. Well, not himself technically, baby doll, but you know, baby doll. But pretty much it's game hide and seek. It can be done in under a minute. You gotta find a 3 times to repair scissors. If you don't do it within a minute, if you know, you can do it in a minute, but it takes. I can do it in like 2 minutes. You do get like if you do take too long, like you can get like a death screen. You can actually die. But this is a pretty easy boss fight. It's one of the Lord Danabellion intro is a pretty weak Lord because he just basically kill a pair of scissors pretty much. He just like stab a pair of scissors through her head. That's literally like you literally stab her doll with a pair of scissors just like that. Look, you go yoink, stank her right in the head. Then she gets all muddy, she flies away, then you find her, you stab her again, like yoink, and she screams, she goes, oh hell no, and she flies off again. Then you like find her again, and here she is again, and she like give you some lip. So what do? You shank her. Then like she gives you some more lip. Then what do you do again? You shank her. You know, because she's I can be your, I can be your daughter. I've been bad daughter, get shanked. Dun dun dun. Turns out you just give Michael Jackson on the floor, puddle of blood, and he calcifies. That's all on you, Big Chief, and you can pick up the doll and sell the doll.
It's over.
Well, that being done, that's the second Lord over and second Flask over. 2 more Lords to go. I know, yeah. Michael Jackson. Oh, brilliant! Yeah, I call him Michael Jackson as a quick joke, because she does honestly know Michael Jackson other than that whole like face fungal thing. This part is a pretty unexceptional. If you find the other piece of the like gravestone, tombstone thing to the grave in front of you, you come back here, you fight a giant ogre. It looks like he's been chained up. So he's basically protecting Donna Barrington's child grave. She had a child that only lived for 9 years. That's why this whole grave's pampered up. I think her name was like something like dealing with sea. I didn't really properly. But if you like come back, fix it, you get like a chalice worth 20 grand, and like his remains right worth 10 grand. It's considered completely optional. You can miss it. I didn't fight on my first playthrough, so I should quickly mention this guy right here. I don't know the Moreau parts, I'm going to explain as fast as you can. So we get bit by one Wolfie boy, you know, he's very good with one Wolfie boy, so he slides the size. Then we steal the thing, we steal the flask that we need for Rose, but he self-wears it. So then we got bumpy with, you know, Chris again, then Chris gets eaten by one fishy boy. So then Chris gets eaten by one fishy boy, and he tells us it's the mold. So then he gets eaten by one fishy boy. Then like we call him Fake, he says don't be cruel, and he goes back in the water, but turns into a giant ass fish, and then he's oh mother, self-wise, then this Indiana Jones shit, dun 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 dun. Honestly, so much around that and that. So then that's done. Then like they might be fishing about to train the water to get out to the exit, and then we do the boss fight, and the boss fight is shoot the living shit out of him with everything you got. Then when he does the acid rain and that, hide underneath the thing, then get splashed with the acid, you strip mine so you get in the boss fight, shoot the explosive barrels about, break the goo with like your knife or your pistol, or just shoot at it. I used to do it 2 times faster than I accidentally didn't even shoot that, I meant to shoot the barrel, but I locked onto that, so I shot that by accident. Well, I was on damage with that. I used mines, I used the grenade launcher, I used the pistol. When he puts up the goo, you can shoot the goo if you can break down it. Then when he shoots at you, when he shoots you, the acid rain, you can be, oh, not today, because the acid rain burns. So I got burnt with it. Oh, I got caught by acid. I think I got caught by acid in that. Because like when like he shoots the acid rain, like the things are like yellow, the roofs are yellow tape on. You're supposed to hide underneath, so you can't like acid rain you because it burns. There's a lot of damage. Apparently it can burn through human skin, so he does like the acid rain thing. I get in cover. I just lay into him. Obviously he's a giant frog fish thing, so you can shoot his outside for a bit of damage, or if you want a crit, if you want a crit, you can like shoot where his head is and that. So as he said, the goo thing, I shoot it to destroy it instead of wasting it again. They launch around, they go, I'm shooting the shit out of him, because obviously no man won't get him, I'm shooting the shit out of him. But it's quicker to do explosives. It weren't a crit. There you go. Then like when he sticks it back out, he's grenade launch, get a crit down. He's my shotgun to get a crit. So this boss ain't hard. It's not hard, it's not scary, it's just honestly pathetic. They could have added in such a cooler boss, such a harder boss, make it more fun than that. But like, yeah, so this is why I don't like this part very much, because it's not scary, it's not, not scary, it's not hard, it's just honestly pathetic, a boss self-loathing of a giant Mammoth Boy boss. Then after that, you gotta, you go back to Slayer, you got a nice TV talk with Heisenberg, then you're on to the Heisenberg part. And the Heisenberg part's really interesting, and this part itself loads goes, oh no, mother, damn you, damn you, and he goes, help me, mama, mama. Mum is why no one else likes him, honestly. He's a waste of a boss in this game. But yeah, after that you go back to his lair, you get the Kunai fungal implant thing, then you get the key, then you get like a TV talk with him, Heisenberg. It's pretty cool. Then you're on to the Heisenberg part. So yeah, about this part, we might explain it so fast, because obviously, I don't like it, because it's a self-loathing boss, it's not hard, and you just like hear him like try and making big ass noises around you and that, and just like
The last asshole in
he just makes noises, and he's not hard, he's not scary, as I say, he's just self-loathing and annoying. That's what it really is. That's why I've just sped through this part, because I don't really like it that much. That's all I'm going to say. I don't really like it personally, but you guys might do, because it's easy. Oh, it's not easy, it's like a casual part, a nice break from like the horror, scary stuff, demetry stuff, but it's a nice little break. And then what's up next, the Heisenberg part and Endgame is way more, tougher, harder, whatever you want to call it. So like, this part is like a kind of little break from the scariest, and like after this part it goes back to being scary and like difficult, obviously, yeah. So this has been the Moreau part. Next is Karl Heisenberg, known as the Meth Maker, or Magneto 4 type person. So after a bit of the story development, after part from Moreau, you end up going to Heisenberg's factory to have a little chat with Heisenberg, because he's got a prisoner's opportunity for you. And he's like, yo, there's a little bit of monologue and tell you that it's all a test and that. Then like, you get told it's a test, and like, explains that, oh, it gives you a reasonable offer, like you work together, stop Mother Miranda, get your daughter, but you gotta use your daughter as a bioweapon. And he's telling you like it's a test, like, oh, if she, gotta see if you're strong enough for Miranda's family, if you kill like Lady Dimitrescu, Monroe, Michael Jackson, and me, Heisenberg, you can be a like right-hand man sort of thing. But I like Kaiju men, like, nah, fuck that, I ain't me, no piss over. So he goes, right, look, I want to kill her, you want to kill her, let's do like some team up action, let's go save Rose. Use Rose like to, kill Miranda and that. Then he very rudely goes, nah, fuck you, into them. Like, started going like, you know what, no, thanks for the business opportunity, thank you for the business opportunity, but no, I don't want to go down that path. I don't want to kill you, I just want to save my daughter. Instead, he goes, fuck you, and makes a whole different enemy, and then gets lost in this big ass giant factory. It's honestly not a good idea. So if you get a business opportunity from a nice man, from a nice offer, take it, or recline it in politeness. Now this part where you're running around aimlessly in the factory, you can get the sense to feel that Endgame is setting in, and it feels like, for me, the factory was there for the player to, people like me, to waste the ammo going through the factory, destroying and exploding away and killing all the enemies, to drain the ammo for Endgame, for the end boss fight. Now, it's alright, the factory, I think it's on for a little too long, but I think it's mainly there to drain the ammo. By the end of it, by the time you're ready to leave the factory, you meet good old Heisenberg again, and he turns into like a Decepticon pretty much, turns into Megatron, pushes you down, makes you drop down into this water pit sort of thing, like whatever it's called. Then like you meet with a good old Chris Redfield, have like a really good jolly good chinwag, drops some truth bombs. Then it's time for the Heisenberg fight. And for the Heisenberg fight, he gives you a tank. Then he's like, you go out there, you do like the first phase of the Heisenberg fight, you shoot him up, you kill him in hell, pretty much, and he's just there. In the second phase of the fight, is you just walk around laying bullets into him with a battery tank. So what I do like about the fight is he does do an Easter egg to Resident Evil 5, and it kind of activates like part 2 of the fight. He calls Chris a bowling punching asshole. Then pretty much when you lay a few bullets into him, Ethan goes, it's your funeral, like Heisenberg does to him, so it ends up the segment mostly. So I just want to quickly mention, after the Heisenberg fight, so you get some more truth bombs told to you by Mother Miranda. Then, to avoid spoilers, you lot guys probably know what it is by now, because it's today's late review, you got like this extra part where you don't play as Ethan for a little bit. Then as the final stretch of the game, you get told a little bit more truth bombs. Then it's time to face Mother Miranda. And I quickly want to mention, this review took so long because I played through the game on Village of Shadows difficulty. And the Village of Shadow difficulty is basically New Game Plus. It's the hardest difficulty you either get from pre-ordering the game, or you either get it from completing the game. And Village of Shadows difficulty is an absolute dick. It puts enemies in where enemies weren't in on the normal placements. And to be fair, I've heard a lot of people whinge about it, or not whinge, complain about it. And to be fair, it's not hard, it's annoying. Or it is hard. Like, it's annoying. You can get killed in like one, 2 hits. Or even can get killed in like 2, 1 hit. If necessary in that. And as I say, you get a lot more money and that, but it's hard. You do get like a trophy, and you get some challenges doing it. So if you're gonna play for it, have infinite ammo guns, infinite ammo, and do it on New Game Plus, because honestly, it is an absolute ball ache too. But that being said, that's why this review took so long, and I believe it's about time we move on to the Mother Miranda part. So now you have killed boss after boss, truth bomb after truth bomb, and now it's time to do one final push and end it all and save your daughter Rose from Mother Miranda. And this boss fight, is one of the best Resident Evil boss fight end boss fights I've ever had. This end game to the story kind of pulled on my heartstrings a bit. I didn't cry because I ain't look out, I ain't a little girl, but it kind of killed me, kind of hurt a little bit. But that being said, this boss fight, you prepare for this end boss fight for the entire game. Essentially, like, this is it. If you can kill Lady Dimitrescu, if you can kill Heisenberg, Moreau, Donna Barriento, whatever her name is, if you can do that, kill a certain amount of mini bosses, kill werewolves, kill a bunch of Lycans, vampire lady, mini vampire witches, then you can kill Mother Miranda. Which is like, she does like this big boy flex. Oh, look at me, I can power by the mold, I can turn into a giant bird, I can turn into a giant spider, I've got big ass nails, because I don't get my nails cut. And it's like, yo, look, and it's just like, pretty much, like, the only part I'd had difficulties when I did it on Eastmo for the review, and I had to do like a video of Shadows. The hardest part I did was when she turned, like, the hardest part of the is when she turned into the, like, bird flying thing, and she dived at you, but then, like, she hisses. So she goes for a dive, she hisses and instantly goes for another dive, and you catch off guard because you turn around to shoot and you stop moving and she hits you and basically takes all your health away. Then, like, sometimes she hisses twice, but that's the thing with Village of Shadows, it's a lot harder than it actually, you need speed. But this boss fight essentially it's not like other Resident Evil games where it's just like a giant, like, it isn't like Resident Evil 7 where it's just like a giant flesh wound where you just leave bullets into it. It's not like Resident Evil 2 after you've done both playthroughs of Resident Evil 2, you get like Birkin, like Gen, I think it's either Gen 4 or Gen like 5, where it's just a giant flesh wound and you just got a mince to get out of the you do get a stage like that in boss fight, but it's near the end. You like pretty much like essentially get her down to it and get like this quick drive and you just got to lay bullets into and after all that you finally get to save your daughter Rose, and you move on to the like ending. You get like some credits, you get some cutscenes, and we'll get more on that now.
Gifts we
So now that you complete the game, you get a lot of cutscenes, and one of them is the ending to the Village of Shadows, which is like a sort of like kind of like the actual game story, and like how it's all parents search some day for her. Well, in the main game, Mia does nothing. Mia is nowhere to be seen other than the ending. But yeah, Mia does nothing to save our daughter. So I don't like how this doesn't save our daughter. I know it's just in the story, it's not actually main game. But you know what I mean? Like the Village of Shadows is basically the main game. That's what it is. It's a fairy tale, like a prophecy sort of thing. But anyway, that being said, you know. Then you also get the mini credits, which I like. I'll speed up a bit. The picture on the side is actually the Spanish plague, how Mother Miranda, like how the Spanish plague affected the village, and it shows how like lichens were made and that, and how Mother Miranda managed to infect the whole village. She's the actual one, like the black figure in like, the church holding out her hand. She's offering because she's already found the Megamyces and the molded. She's like, yeah, here, you know, here's the kunai, here's this, you'll be cured. You know, and all things, you know, she's that black person in the cloak and that, and she's infecting people. That being said, guys, this has been the review, so I really hope you all enjoy it. I've really done my best with this. I really put a lot of work into it. So please, you know, please of everything, please leave a like, subscribe. If you've got any questions, I'll make a follow-up video about some theories that I have. But if not, guys, I hope you all have a good day, and goodbye. Thank you very much for watching.